Good afternoon, everyone. We are the last batch of reporter, and we're gonna discuss today about formal report.
Formal reports. A formal report is a document that analyzes information, determines conclusions, and offers recommendations to solve problems. Formal reports are the result of the gathering and analyzing of large amounts of data. A formal report is an official report that contains detailed information, research, and data necessary to make business decisions. This report is generally written for the purpose of solving a problem. Here are some examples of formal reports. First, inspection report, safety report, compliance report, audit, incident report, annual report, situational report. There are two categories of formal reports: informational and analytical reports. The informational reports gathers data and facts used to draw conclusions. The analytical report contains the same information as the informational report, but it also offers recommendation to solve a problem. The next is project proposal. A project proposal is a written document outlining everything stakeholders should know about a project, including the timeline, budget, objectives, and goals. Your project proposal should summarize your project details and sell your idea to stakeholders feel inclined to get involved in the initiative. The goal of your project proposal is to secure external funding, allocate company resources to your project, gain stakeholder buy-in, build momentum and excitement. There are 6 types of proposal you may encounter as a project manager, and understand the different formats can be useful as you write yours. Each type has a different goal. First type is solicited. You'll send solicited proposal in response to a request for proposal. An RPF announces a project in detail and asks for bids from qualified teams. Because you're competing against other companies for this type of proposal, you must do thorough research and write persuasively. The next type is unsolicited. You'll send unsolicited proposal without an RFP, meaning no one asked for your proposal. In this case, you won't be up against other companies or teams, but you'll still need to be persuasive because you have no knowledge of whether the stakeholder you're pitching to needs you. The next is informal. You may have a client send you an informal request for a project proposal, in which case you can respond with your project pitch. Because isn't an official RFP, the rules are less concrete. The next type is renewal. You'll send renewal to existing clients in hopes that they'll extend their service with your organization. In this type of project proposal, the goal is to emphasize past results your team has produced for the client and persuade them you can produce future results. The next type is continuation. You'll send continuations as a reminder to a stakeholder, letting them to know the project is beginning. In this project proposal, you'll simply provide information about the project instead of persuading the stakeholder. The next type is supplemental. Similar to a continuational proposal, you'll send a supplemental proposal to a stakeholder already involved in your project. In this type of proposal, you're letting the stakeholder know the project is beginning, while also asking for additional resources. You should persuade the stakeholder to contribute more to the project in this proposal. The tone of voice and content of your project proposal will differ based on the type of proposal you're sending. When you know your project goals, you can write your proposal accordingly. Progress Report. A progress report is a document that explains in detail how much progress you have made towards the completion of your ongoing project. A progress report is a management tool used in all types of organizations that outlines the tasks completed, activities carried out, and the target achieved vis-a-vis your project plan. You write a progress report to inform a supervisor, associate, or client about progress you have made on a project over a specific period of time. Periodic progress reports are common on projects that go on for several months or more. Whoever is paying for this project wants to know whether tasks are being completed on schedule and on budget. If the project is not on schedule or on budget, they want to know why and what additional cost and time will be needed. Progress reports answer the following question for the reader. How much of work is complete? What part of the work is currently in progress? What work remains to be done? When and how will the remaining work be completed? What changes, problem, or unexpected issue, if any, have arisen? How is the project going in general? Purpose of a progress report. The main function of a progress report is persuasive, to reassure clients and supervisors that you are making progress, that the project is going smoothly, and that it will be completed by the expected date, or to give reasons why any of those might not be the case. They also offer the opportunity to do the following. Provide a brief look at preliminary findings or in progress work on the project. Give your clients or supervisors a chance to evaluate your work on the project and to suggest or request changes. Give you a chance to discuss problems in the project and thus to forewarn the recipient. Force you to establish a work schedule so that you will complete the project on time. Format of a progress report. Depending on the size of the progress report, the length and importance of the project, and the recipient, a progress report can take forms ranging from a short, informal conversation to a detailed, multi-page report. Most commonly, progress reports are delivered in the following forms. First is memo, a short, semi-formal report to someone within your organization, can range in length from 1 to 4 pages. Second is letter, a short, semi-formal report sent to someone outside your organization. Third is formal report, a long, formal report sent to someone within or outside of your organization. And the last is presentation, an oral presentation given directly to the target audience.
Next is a recommendation report. A recommendation report is written to propose or recommend the option available to solve a problem or fill a need. The goal of the report is to compare options, recommend one option, and support that recommendation. While cost is always a consideration, there is other considerations as well. A recommendation report is a useful professional tool that allows you to discuss potential solutions to a problem while also recommending the solution you think is most effective. By including supporting information for each solution, you can help readers make high-impact decisions that may affect teams or organizations. Recommendation reports are both informative and persuasive documents. They direct the readers to come at a certain conclusion regarding the most efficient solution. The report also discusses the potential solution to a problem using a consistent set of criteria. At the conclusion of the recommendation report, the writer recommends which solution to choose based on the criteria they offer. Report writers must provide enough information so that the audience member can confidently follow the recommendation as informed members of the team. Professionals use recommendation reports in both academic and business settings. Recommendation reports follows the same formatting as any other formal reports. First is introduction. The introduction is similar to introduction of other types of report that which contains for the purpose of the report, an overview of the content of the report, summarizes the options, and mentions briefly the writer's recommendation. Second is the body. The body includes a specific explanation of description of each option, an evaluation of the merit of each option, a comparison of options, and argument of the recommended option. Third is the conclusion. The conclusion will provide the following information: a summary of result, a specific recommendation, and an explanation of the recommendation. Here are the examples of recommendation report. Consulting recommendation report, sample recommendation report, recommendation and feasibility report, construction committee recommendation report, project recommendation report, school recommendation report, audit recommendation status report, attendance recommendation report, and staff recommendation report. Annual report. An annual report is a comprehensive report detailing a company's activities throughout the preceding year. Its purpose is to provide users, such as shareholders and potential investors, with the information about the company's operation and financial performance. In other words, annual reports provide a significant amount of information for its readers who will be able to get a good overview of the company's overall performance in the preceding year. It is important to note that many annual reports are not traditional reports with large amount of text. Many companies often incorporate a lot of graphics and images, resulting to a visually appealing document. What does annual report contain? First is the letter from the CEO. The letter from the CEO is addressed to shareholders and provides a summary of company's performance in the previous year. CEOs typically spend a lot of time on their letters to highlight the company's achievements as its performance is relative to the industry it operates in. The letter would likely mention the information of interest to shareholders since they are the primary readers of the report. Second is the performance highlight. Annual reports usually dedicate a section to highlighting some of the company's key achievements, such as the special initiative, goals reached, or awards received by the company or its employees. The main goal of the section is to ensure that the shareholders are satisfied with their investment in the company and persuade potential investors to do the same. Next is the financial statements. Financial statements are the key component of the annual report and provide its user with quantitative data regarding the specific aspect of its financial performance in the previous fiscal year. Annual reports typically include financial statements such as balance sheets, income statement, and cash flow statement. In addition, there will often be graphs or charts included helping break down the financial into easily readable information. Last is the performance and outlook for the future years. An annual report typically includes information regarding its future performance in order to provide shareholders with information on the company's future goals and objectives. Investors are able to get a thorough understanding of the company's current position in its respective industry and the company's plan for future growth. The reports also include information regarding the company's strategy and how it plans to complement that strategy in the coming years. Next is the feasibility report. A feasibility report is a report that evaluates a set of proposed project path or solution to determine if they are viable. The person who prepares a feasibility report evaluates the feasibility of the different solution and then chooses the recommendation for the best solution. They then present the feasibility report to their company and make the recommendation. A project's feasibility study examines all the project's permanent aspects, including economic, technical, legal, and scheduling issues to determine the possibility of the project's successful completion. Prior to commencing the project and investigating funds, time, and efforts into it, manager conduct a feasibility study of the project. In project management, a project feasibility study evaluates the following areas. First is the technical capability. Is the organization equipped with necessary technical resources to complete the project? Second is the budget. Does the organization have the financial resources to carry out the project, and does the cost benefit analysis justify moving forward? Next is the legality. What is the project's legal requirements and can the company meet them? Next is risk. What are the risks involved in completing this project? Is the risk worth the company's money and time based on expected benefits? Next is the operational feasibility. Does the project in this intended scope address the organization's need through fixing problems or seizing opportunity? And lastly, time. How much time would it take for completion? There are five types of different project feasibility studies. First is the technical feasibility. The technological resources that are used by the company should undergo an examination. It assesses business in determining whether technical resources are sufficient for the job and whether the technical team is capable of executing plant concept. To assess the technical viability factor like the system's hardware, software, and other possible technical needs are taken into account. Next is the economic feasibility. A cost-benefit analysis of the project is frequently included in this review, which helps firm determines the project's viability, cost, and benefit before investing financial resources. It also serves as unbiased project evaluation, enhancing project credibility by supporting decision makers in identifying the proposed project's favorable economic benefits to the company. Next is legal feasibility. This assessment looks into if any component of the proposed project violates any regulations such as laws, data protection legislation, or social media laws. Let us take an example that a company that desires to build a new office building in a particular location. A feasibility study may discover that the desired location for the company is not designated for that sort of business. Next is the operational feasibility. This assessment entails researching to evaluate whether and to what extent the project can meet the organization's need. Operational feasibility studies also looked on how a project plan meets the requirements specified during the requirement analysis phase. Last is the feasibility study. Scheduling feasibility evaluation is a crucial for project success. After all, the project will fall if it is not completed on time. A company forecasts the amount of time it will take for project execution when scheduling feasibility. These factors have been considered. The feasibility study can help identify any potential projects such as internal project constraints including technological, financial, and resource constraints, export, financial, marketing, and other internal corporate constraints, and logistic, the environment, laws, and regulation, and so on are all external constraints.
So now let's talk about a project study or a project report. A project report is a document that contains information about the proposed project and it contains all the details of the project. The project report details the project proposal in order to assess the feasibility of the plan or activity. In other words, we can say that the project report is a written document that is related to a particular investment or project. It includes information that is used to evaluate the proposal and determine if it was feasible. The project report consists the evaluated data on economical, technological, financial, managerial, and manufacturing issues that may or may not happen while the project is being built. The project report includes comprehensive information on the necessary land and buildings, annual manufacturing capacity, manufacturing process, machinery and equipment prices and specifications, raw material requirements, power and water requirements, manpower requirements, project marketing cost, efficiency, financial assessment, and economic viability. A project report contents are as follows. First is general information. General information must provide information in the industry's history, current state, challenges, and future prospects. If the proposed company is a manufacturing unit, it must provide details about the product to be produced, as well as the reason for choosing the product. The general information must describe the product demand in local market, as well as the national market and in the global markets. It should clearly define business alternative as well as the motivation for starting a business. Second is executive summary. The business goals and strategies for achieving result must be stated in a project report. This report must consist the overall picture of the company, which must be in terms of capital that company holds, operation going in the company, operating methods, and business executions. It must include the assumptions and risks that are common in the industry. Third, organization summary. The plan organization structure and pattern for the unit should be included in the project study. It must specify whether the company is a sole proprietorship, a partnership, or a joint stock corporation. It must provide biographical information about the promoters as well as the financial stability. Fourth, project description. A brief overview of the project must be given, including information on the following: the place of project where is being built, raw material requirements, target production, area required for the working, requirements of the electricity, fuel requirements, water requirements, employment requirements of skilled and unskilled labor, technology selected for the project, production process, projected production volumes, unit prices, and pollution treatment plants required. If the company is service-oriented, it must specify the service it provides to customer. It should provide a detailed description of how customer will be served. Fifth, marketing plan. The marketing plan must specify the selling price at which the commodity can be offered. It should also include the tactics that will use to win the market if an after-sale service is offered. It must be specified in the project. It must define the product's mode of delivery from the manufacturing unit to the customer. The following must be included in the project report: type of customers, target markets, nature of market, market segmentation, future prospect of the market, the objective of the sale, the cost of marketing, market share of proposed venture, and demand of the product in the different market. It must identify potential product buyers as well as the distribution network that will be used to distribute the product. 6. Capital structure and operating cost. The report must also specify the source of funding as well as the extent of the owner and the borrowed funds. Working capital specification must be specified as well as the source of supply in the project. Land, building, and civil work maintenance, plant and equipment, miscellaneous fixed asset, preliminary and preoperative cost, and working capital must all be factored into the overall project cost estimate. This segment must also include a breakdown of the running cost. 7. Management plan. The following should be included in the project report: information about the business promoters, management team information, the roles playing team members, the organization's current staffing requirements, management methods, plan for recruiting and training personnel, and management programs and policies. 8. Financial aspects. This portion of the project report covers the accounting system and inventory management system that will be used. The financial and economic viability of the company must be stated in the project report. Ninth, technical aspects. A project report contains detail about the project technologies and strategic aspects. It includes information on the project chosen technology, the manufacturing process, machinery capability, pollution control plans, and so on. 10th, project implementation. The project implementation in the report must specify what the activities associated with establishing the business will be complete. The timeline for the project planning and execution is seen in the implementation schemes. 11th, social responsibility. The social responsibility units or projects are based on societal inputs. As a result, it makes a significant contribution to society in terms of jobs, revenue, export, and infrastructure. The business performance must be listed in the project report. The purpose of a project study is to help solve an existing local real-world problem, which is why project studies are also called applied studies. The purpose of a project study is to collect information to help address an identifiable problem on a specific setting. And lastly, we will discuss about research report. A research report is a well-crafted document that outlines the process, data, and findings of a systematic investigation. It is an important document that serves as a first-hand account of the research process, and it is typically considered as an accurate source of information. In many ways, a research report can be considered as a summary of the research process that clearly highlights findings, recommendation, and other important details. Reading a well-written research report should provide you with all the information you need about the core areas of the research process. The research report is classified based on the two things: nature of research and target audience. In nature of research, there is qualitative research report and quantitative research report. Qualitative research report is a type of report written for qualitative research. It outlines method, processes, and findings of a qualitative method of systematic investigation. In educational research, a qualitative research report provides an opportunity for one to apply his or her knowledge and develop skills in planning and executing qualitative research projects. A qualitative research report is usually descriptive in nature. Hence, in addition to representing details of the research process, you will must also create a descriptive narrative of the information. Second is quantitative research report. A quantitative research report is a type of research report that is written for quantitative research. Quantitative research is a type of systematic investigation that pays attention to numerical and statistical values in a bid to find answer to a research questions. In this type of research report, the researcher presents quantitative data to support the research process and findings. Unlike a qualitative research report that is mainly descriptive, a quantitative research report works with numbers that it is numerical in nature. Also, a research report can be said to be technical or popular based on the target audience. If you're dealing with a general audience, you would need to present a popular research report. If you're dealing with a specialized audience, you would submit a technical report. What is technical research report? A technical research report is a detailed document that you present after carrying out an industry-based research. This report is highly specialized because it provides information for a technical audience. It is individuals with above average knowledge in the field of study. In a technical research report, the researcher is expected to provide specific information about the research process, including statistical analysis and sampling method. Also, the use of language is highly specialized and filled with jargon. Examples of technical research report includes legal and medical research reports. And lastly, popular research report. A popular research report is one for general audience. That is, for individuals who do not necessarily have any knowledge in the field of study. A popular research report aims to make information accessible to everyone. It is written in very simple language, which make it easy to understand the findings and recommendation. Example of popular research report are the information contained in newspaper and magazines.
So that's all for our report. Thank you for listening.